Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm actually going to be showing you guys something I typically don't do, and that is a full house cleaning. I have not done this in such a long time because I typically do zones by the day. And what do I mean by that? I will typically take care of the bedrooms on Mondays, bathrooms on Tuesdays, living room and dining area on Wednesdays, Thursday is for my kitchens, Friday is laundry day, and so on and so forth. I have found that it's pretty much been the most effective way of cleaning at home, especially working from home, homeschooling, and on top of that, trying to just get my anxiety and depression a little under the belt there. And so, if you're new to my channel, I work with individuals and showing them how to clean their homes while they are healing and recovering from both anxiety and depression. And I show you how to create an effective schedule and how to declutter in a way where you're not doing so much work that you are burnt out and don't or can't do it. I've also worked with individuals who are dealing with autoimmune diseases where it's extremely hard for them to kind of take care of their house and declutter. And these schedules that I've created are so easy to follow. If you're interested in some of those templates, I do have a link down in my description section. So I will have that ready for you guys if you're interested. Otherwise, let's get to this cleaning. Typically, I like to start in the bedrooms because it is the most neglected area more often than not, especially with dusting. And so I've just kind of been working through that and making sure that those areas are nice and clean and dusted and vacuumed. And my laundry room needs so much help today, guys. It is crazy embarrassing, but also the reality of life. Like, a lot of people on Instagram have mentioned to me that it's so refreshing to see real life stuff as opposed to kind of that Insta worthy like scenario. And let me tell you guys, I can clean my house so well, but we live in our house. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. I've seen so many messages and comments are like, how could you not be cleaning all day? And the reality is you're not meant to be a slave to your house, right? Yes, we are meant to maintain it and clean it and organize it. But overall, there's just so much going on in life, especially as a parent. You're focusing on your little ones or your teenagers, wherever it may be. It's really hard to just decide you're going to sacrifice a whole day to cleaning nonstop and then keep doing it on the daily for weeks on end. I've decided that's just not the life that I want to have. And obviously, a lot of folks enjoy it and find it therapeutic, and that's totally okay. I just, for my own well-being and mental health, I find that I cannot devote my entire day to just cleaning. I have little kids that need me. We homeschool here. I also need time for myself to heal and allow myself to get to a point where I just don't have these anxiety attacks like I have in the past. And so ultimately, I've just chosen that cleaning all day is just not for me. So as part of the deep cleaning, I do make sure that my couches are vacuumed as well as mattresses. And typically I would have done this here, but I just did this like a day ago for my mattress, so I'm not going to do it again. But this vacuum from Jimmy is the brand, and I'll link it for you guys in the bottom, is so incredibly neat because it's not just a vacuum. You actually have a heat element and a light that is going to kill dust mites. And for me, that's a huge thing because, quite frankly, here with allergies and asthma, it's one of those things that I've become so incredibly anal about it because I have to dust. I have to make sure everything is off our mattresses. And I've noticed such a huge difference after vacuuming our mattresses and just vacuuming areas that you typically wouldn't think to vacuum. I feel like overall it's helped our like respiratory health for myself and the family, but also I have a little one who has asthma. And it was like the scariest thing ever when he developed it because he was only a year old. And I honestly was scared to death because I had no clue that little kids that age could get asthma. And so ever since, I've done this very thorough job of making sure everything is dusted, including fans. And then we also switch out filters, air filters in our house. Pretty periodically. And so that's one of those things. The vacuum is from Jimmy, and I'll link it for you guys at the bottom. I'll have more information if that's something that you're interested in. Now for the bathrooms, I have learned that I just have to stay on top of it, right? I typically have the sink that is full of clothes, makeup, accessories, random tea mugs because I've been drinking my tea or my coffee in the mornings when I'm getting ready. And with that being said, I just have learned that I need to put things back instead of just putting them down. And it's slowly getting there, but I do have to make an effort to pick up my areas more frequently. I do have ADHD, and so for me, it's a little bit hard to kind of process these things as we go. I just find that ultimately I am incredibly distracted as I'm doing things. I'm so preoccupied about making sure that I wash up and get ready that just setting the item down is so much more simpler in my mind than it is to have to then put everything away. Obviously, I'm working through it, but ultimately, I feel like it's one of those things that I just have to do it as I'm getting ready. I have learned to kind of multitask in the kitchen when it comes to this, especially when I'm making breakfast or lunch or dinner. I just find myself to be the most effective if I'm cleaning during those times because it kind of forces me to stay on track. And so ultimately, this is how I've had to process my cleaning for my kitchen. Now, the hallways have gotten so much better. We recently we had a little baby gate on our steps and it looks so much bigger. I don't know why, but it does. And so I am doing laundry, and because I'm doing laundry, I have the little hanging racks. I've seen the ones that people put on their walls and those look really cool, but I'm like afraid that like it's going to come down. Am I the only one that does that? I don't know. So I make sure that I'm dusting because I typically don't dust these areas. It's kind of bad, but ultimately I just want to make sure that I'm getting all that dust done because it has been crazy with allergies and these areas get so neglected. So I figured, why not? We're stuck at home, might as well. Now, the kids' rooms are always a little tough. Usually, I have been working on an actual list for them to follow, and this is the youngest. He is 3, and so for him, I try to show him pictures and I start teaching him where everything goes. Ultimately, though, when I'm doing deep cleaning, I'm not too pressed on having him do it. I'm more concerned about making sure that the areas are dusted completely clean and that I don't find random snackies on his room because we're not supposed to be eating upstairs. And so if I find a snack, probably it's been there for a while. But I am just putting things back to where they go, and I like to take this time too to check on toys that may be broken, and so kind of declutter in a way as I go from his toys. But I had recently done that several times for the last few months because we had the holidays and birthdays, and so that's been pretty much taken care of. And right now it's just going to be a quick cleanup, vacuuming and dusting and getting that out of the way. Now, this is by far my favorite vacuum, and I was so incredibly shocked with how efficient it is because I have a Dyson, and the Dyson is just my problem child. I just cannot with the Dyson. And so the Arimo vacuum has been so incredibly good, especially for hair. And if you have a pet, this is the vacuum to have. It has such good suction, but it doesn't get tangled in the brushes, which is my favorite part of this. And also, let's just talk about how easy it is to just turn on the button and not have to hold the trigger for it to be turned on the entire time. I know a lot of people complained about how painful it was, and it is painful to have to hold that thing the entire time that you're vacuuming. So throughout the video, you're probably going to see me looking out the window, and that's because I was so intrigued with the rain. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like really pouring, and so I'm gonna go ahead and just now get through the laundry section and make sure I clear everything off, organize it, and keep going with my laundry.
Gotta find my way to you, even though you're next to me. No matter what I do, your heart is drifting out of reach. Head underwater, I'm swimming harder, trying to keep this alive. Gotta find my way to you, now that our love has capsized.